Here we have the amazing Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge smartphone. It's rocking a 1440p display on a 5.5-inch monitor. This gives it a really amazing PPI. Images and videos appear crisp and vivid on this gorgeous screen. Rocking around the back of the phone, we see the 12 megapixel shooter that can also shoot 4K video, which is pretty amazing. On the inside, we've got 4GB of RAM as well as a 3600 mAh battery. This gives it a very good battery life. For those of you who are wondering, its dimensions are 150.9 by 72.6 by 7.7 millimeters. Its weight is 157 grams or 5.54 Oz, and it also comes in dual SIM models. It uses a Super AMOLED display which has 16 million colors, and its PPI is 534. It uses Android version 6 and is also upgradable to version 7, and in some models it has a quad-core CPU and in others it has an octa-core CPU. The GPU is the Adreno 530 or the Mali T880 MB12. Its microSD support is up to 1/4 terabyte, which is just humongous, and has 32, 64 or 128 gigabytes of internal storage. So it's no mid-range phone to say the least. The camera on the back features phase detect autofocus, optical image stabilization, an LED flash, as well as an f1.7 26mm lens. This means that it lets in a lot of light and should be more useful for nighttime photography. As well as having some nice photo features, the video features aren't too bad either. 4K video is no slouch. You can shoot 4K video at 30 FPS, 1080p video at 60 and 30 FPS, and 720p video at 240 FPS, which is very useful for slow motion footage. The front-facing camera is a 22 megapixel f1.7 5 megapixel shooter, so it's not possibly the highest resolution selfie cam out there, but by no means is it a slouch. With this being Samsung's current flagship, although not for too much longer, more on that later, it features all of the latest Wi-Fi standards. It can connect to Wi-Fi networks, which are 82.11a, B, G, N, and AC. Although the battery is non-removable, with its large size and quick charge support, I don't see too many people itching for an upgrade. Its colors come in black, white, gold, silver, pink gold, black pearl, and coral blue. Anyway, let's take the phone out into the field and see how its camera's image quality and video features stack up. Some people may find image stabilization not very important or not very useful, but it's very useful for getting slower shutter speeds on your photos, which improves quality, and also obviously very great for video. Here's some footage of me walking normally. As we can see, it's alright, but it's not amazing. So here we have one of the fancier video features on the phone, which is to change the camera's colors to a different style, sort of like an Instagram filter, if you will. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually record at full 30 FPS, and it records at 23.95 frames per second. This is why I had to speed it up to 125% to match our frame rate. Although it may not be very obvious here, one of the nicer features of the Galaxy S7 is the 1080p and 60 FPS recording. Although I would usually show you it at its native 1080p 60 FPS, I'm showing you what you can do in a lower FPS project, which is some very nice 50% slow motion footage. Not only can it shoot footage in Instagram-like edit style, as well as high frame rate 1080p and regular 1080p, it can also shoot in 1440p or Quad HD at 30 frames per second. For some reason, when you shoot 1440p video, it actually crops in quite a bit. This doesn't happen at 4K or at 1080p, so I assume that there's some driver issue or something going on there. Maybe they can sort that out with software in the future. Anyway, moving right along. Finally, we make it to the 4K video. This is at the top end of the spec, and is what you'd expect. It can shoot 4K at 30 FPS, and is very good for cropping into. Also, it doesn't crop at the start like Quad HD does. A very good performer. And now onto the camera's still image quality. I will show you the camera's processed JPEG, and then my version of the processed RAW. That's right, this phone can shoot RAW photos. As you can see here, the camera can stop motion at up to 1/24,000th of a second. This scene is even too slow to measure the actual RAW performance of this. As you can see here on our harsh light test, the lens has troubles displaying colors correctly and also struggles with lens flare. As you can see here, the close-up image quality is pretty good, and you can focus down fairly closely. Here you can see in my high dynamic range test, there's quite a bit of detail that you can pull back from the highlights and pull out of the shadows. It's very nice to see this in a smartphone. The camera can capture images between ISO 50 and 800, but because of its sensor size, it actually gathers 15 times less light than APS-C, which in turn gathers 2.4 times less light than full-frame cameras. This means by design it will have a harder time at nighttime, but at the same token, it's not really that bad either. Unlike dedicated cameras though, which have a standard aspect ratio of 3:2, just like every other smartphone, this smartphone has a standard aspect ratio of 4:3. This means that images will be boxier by default. So thanks for watching this video, guys. If you found this useful or helpful, then I'd love it if you could leave a like and a comment, and maybe even a subscribe, because I do plan on doing more of phone reviews in the future. If there's anything that I missed, then please do leave it in the comments for the rest of us to find out. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.